Hi, I'm Hemant Sharma. I'm going to discuss the case which you were sent after the webinar on the deformity correction. So if you look at the case, she's a 32-year-old lady, very young, had multitude of problems. Now whenever you have a multitude of problems, I would suggest you make a problem list. That will help you identify the problem. It will also help you to prioritize the list. So if we look at her problems, she has hip osteoarthritis, she has a valgus osteoarthritis of the knee, she has got a valgus and the translation deformity of the femur, and also an angular deformity of the tibia, a bit of valgus. That leaves her limb quite a bit in the valgus malalignment. Her hip arthritis is quite symptomatic, so is the knee. Knee has been seen by the knee surgeons. She has arthroscopy. She had MRI scan which confirms lateral compartment grade 4 AO but tricompartmental changes, and knee surgeons has refused to do knee replacement because of the malalignment. To top it up, she also had quite a valgus ankle, but her hind foot is neutral and straight. Now this lady had a surgery when she was young. She has a proximal femoral focal deficiency. She has about 10 centimeters of lengthening and multitude of surgeries when she was young. That included some surgery in hind foot, and that's the reason hind foot is fixed. Now when you approach a patient like this, we need to look at it, what problem they have, in what order they're going to correct, and when we correct these deformities, we need to ensure that it does not create a secondary deformity. So in this lady, her principal problem is the arthritis of the knee, principally which is not being addressed because of the malalignment. So when you correct the deformity to align the leg, it is quite critical that you do not create any secondary deformity. So if you do the angular corrections, which they are principal, along with, then what will happen, the hind foot will go into varus, and therefore most of the deformity should be corrected with a bit of angulation, but principally by translation. So if you look at the exercise, what I have done is I've nailed her femur, correcting the deformity, corrected some angular deformity and some translation. In tibia, what I've done is I've compensated and corrected most of the deformity on tibia with principally translation. Now what that will do is that will not increase the hind foot deformity, and at the same time it will keep her axis straight. Now once you've corrected it, then you need to address the problems. So we should always take a pragmatic approach for these patients, which are, you need to tackle what is a problem, not what needs to be corrected. We should tailor our approach and the treatment for the patient and what is required by the patient. So in this case, we do the hip replacement first because they're symptomatic. As because of the correction of the alignment, knee pain has improved significantly. It is no longer a problem. So take home message in this patient would be that A, we need to tackle the deformity according to the patient needs. B, we should have a very pragmatic approach which is tailored to the patient, and when we correct the deformity, we should not create a secondary deformity which can be symptomatic. So in this lady, if you correct the deformity by simple angulation, then the hind foot will go into varus and will become symptomatic, which we need to avoid. And more importantly, and the critical bit is, all the principles of the deformity correction should be employed, implemented, understood, so we can correct the deformity as we planned without creating any undue second deformity. Thank you so much.